baby?
Don't you got a girlfriend? Why don't y'all go make a baby?
What that got to do with my baby? Cause I got a girlfriend. What that got to do with my baby?
I don't want her around my kid.
But if you got a boyfriend, it's cool. So you can bring a boy.
Why are you worried about me?
So you can bring a boy, but I can't bring no girl around.
No.
So I'm paying $1,500 in child support and I can't see my baby.
No.
See what?
See? Why the f are you recording me? See what? See what?
Don't have kids. Y'all don't have kids.
The narcissism is crazy with this girl right now, fam. She's making all these rules and stipulations for the dude, and he can't realistically do anything. And that's a terrible situation to be in. First of all, $1,500 for child support. That's why I always say you got to make sure you understand the girls that you guys are getting yourself involved with, man. Because the majority of the time, y'all are getting involved with girls that are absolute trash.
Women this childish should not be having kids, and that is the truth.
I hate when be like, so don't nobody do nothing for my kids but me. Wasn't nobody riding that but you, so what you talking about, baby girl?
Kids these days really have no filter, do they?
I'm just gonna get two.
You really, excuse me?
I'm talking to the lady. I'm just gonna
It
get
doesn't
2 plates.
matter.
I'm not about to order for the kid.
That's not right. What do you mean?
I'm taking you out. I'm taking you out. I'm not taking your kids out. So I'm not ordering.
Nah, that's not how.
A lot of these videos where they're filming it and they're arguing, I always find that a lot of these videos have got to be fake. How are you able to argue and film at the same time? It can't be a real argument. If you were in the heat of the argument, you wouldn't have any time to film. And you should never argue with a girl, bro.
So if you with me, you with my kids. It doesn't work like that. Excuse me.
Can I get?
Excuse me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna order you.
No, what?
You want to fuss?
Nah, ain't nobody trying to fuss, but all I'm saying is you're gonna order my kids some food too. I didn't feed them because I knew we were coming to get something.
Wow. So you're gonna, instead of feeding them nice food, you're gonna feed them McDonald's? Come on.
Damn, can you get the order of 2?
And you should get them something to eat too if you're gonna feed me.
With no
Excuse me, so you're really not hearing me right now.
Why tolerate the disrespect? Start the car, get her home, and drive off into the sunset. It's the best you can do, sir.
The 3rd graders are calling me fat.
Yeah.
Yikes.
They're saying I'm fat. Me. They heard you heard them say it was me.
Yeah.
What did they say?
Well, this is an upper body shot. I don't know what's the rest of it looking like.
Like your mama's so fat. That's something. I don't know. I can't hear them.
What'd you say? What did you say to defend me?
How do you know about that?
Well, we know that kids never lie, so it might be time to hit the gym, lady.
You've been cutting women's hair for 18 years. Should I still trust women?
No. A client of mine, single mom, has 3 kids. They all have different dads, but by her own doing. So she has enough of her own money, but she always wants a man with more money. So she dates these men in higher positions and whatnot, and they have broken up with her. And what she actually does is she goes and gets artificially inseminated.
Wow.
And tells them that she's pregnant.
How down bad you gotta be, fam? How down bad you gotta be to be trapping men by somebody else's, like, you know what I mean? It's not even the man's tank. You're literally trapping a man who's a higher earner just on the idea that the baby is his. And for these people who got all this bread, how come you're not going out of your way to essentially find out if this girl is telling the truth? Why aren't you doing any kind of DNA test? And another thing when it comes down to these is, like, we shouldn't even falter for necessarily wanting to get a man who has more money. That's just hypergamy, all right? That's not a problem there. The problem here is that she is literally going out of her way to trap multiple dudes and then getting child support payments. So she's not even working. She's just trapping men to get the child support payments to live her life. Yo, if that's not a major finesse, dude.
By them, she lies to these men, and then by the time the paternity test comes out, obviously they know they're not the dad. She's done it 3 times.
And all the kids are by just different
donors.
Holy. What a sicko. How does she justify that?
She's got a couple screws loose, so she's just, I want more kids, and I want someone who also wants kids. And I was like, well, have you tried asking these men to have kids with you? She's like, well, they just keep breaking up with me. And I'm like, I wonder why.
I've heard horror stories about this as well. Women that do this should be criminally charged.
That's my mom putting gas because she got no man. Hey, good girl.
Listen to the way that little girl's talking. That's fatherless behavior in the making. This clip is more sad than funny.
Yeah, 5 kids, you
I understand you was trying to flex and everything, But nobody's gonna get in a 2000 Nissan Honda with all spares. I'm just... Alright.
5 kids? How many different baby daddies are we thinking? 3? 4? This is not the flex that you think it is, ma'am.
You know, the crazy thing about the situation that's going on right now is y'all have given all of these women way too much liberty, dog. Y'all have given these women way too much free roam to go around and do just things that are absolutely nonsensical. And at the end of the day, we can't even realistically blame women. It's not the women's fault. That's the contrarian take, or that's the take that is going to be so controversial when I say that it's not their fault. You know whose fault it is? It's us. It's men. It's our fault because we accepted this behavior. We allowed this behavior to continue on. The idea of the toxic relationship, people are toxic, people are addicted to this argumentative, lack of respect relationships. And because that's what's being propagated through the media. Is people, you're seeing this on your Insta Reels, you're seeing this on the shorts, people just complaining about relationships, this and that. So it gets into the common zeitgeist that this is okay. When in reality, a man should never tolerate disrespect, Cam. From either a man or a woman, you should never tolerate disrespect. You got to be able to choose the partner that you want in life that is going to make sense for you.
I'm more mad at myself. I'm more mad at myself that I allowed this to happen because it's affecting my daughter. And it's not something I can take back. It's not something that I can just like go back in time and change it up. It's like the consequences of my actions. It's me ignoring everything that God was trying to show me day in and day out because I knew the type of person he already was. I knew that he didn't have it in him. I knew that
Yeah, but then why are you coming on here and complaining? This is like the de facto womanoid thing to do, is to make poor choices, then come on TikTok and complain about it. Like, come on, man. Y'all don't have fathers or brothers in your life that can guide you through these situations? God damn, man.
His core value is trash. Like, I hate that I allowed this to get to this point and there's no takebacks.
You know, there was a time when fathers got to choose who their daughters married, and you can bet they were not picking dudes with face tattoos or a criminal record.
Why you don't want to take care of your kids?
Because
you got 3 kids, bro.
I'm tired.
Yo, this shorty's got a gut, dude. A gut? Shorty got a gut on her, dog. Yeah.
None of your kids living with you. They ain't never been living with you. So what you had kids for?
Because it's his turn to take care of them. It's not. I'm done. I don't want to have no person.
This is what I was saying about poor choices, not just on the woman's part, but on the man's part. Dude, you're out here hanging out with a shorty that's got kids, that doesn't take care of her kids, and she's eating food on your leather seats, and her gut is out. You can't make this up, man.
You know what that do to kids, though? Like, you really traumatizing these kids because you don't want to step up and be the mama.
What about me and what it did to me?
What?
It ain't do nothing to you.
What about my mental?
It stopped
being
your life?
Single mom.
It stopped your life?
Being a single mom for 7 years to 3 kids. What do you think that did to me?
Oh, my God.
But you did that.
Nothing. I'm talking about right now. Like, you don't never call
That's what I'm talking about. Because I'm
even
done.
Know if your kid's still alive?
I'm sure they're fine.
How do you know?
I'm sure they're fine. Their daddy ain't gonna do nothing to them.
How do you know?
Bro, this whole idea of the way the criminal justice system is set up to just allow women to do absolute buffoonery is scary to me, dude. It's scary because this is what you end up getting. End up getting these shorties that are screws loose, doing whatever they want, not taking care of their kids, hanging out with 4 or 5 different dudes at a time, going on girls' trips, and all for what? Do you know that men can raise children a lot in the sense of raise better disciplined children than women can? And I understand that, dude. When dad's not home, there's no discipline. It's a fun house. When mom's around, you know what I mean? When it's just mom, like when dad's around, it's a discipline. It's not a fun house. When mom is just around, people just run around amok. There's no discipline there, dude. You gotta have fathers in your life, man. You have to.
You mad because I gave them up to their dad after 7 years of doing everything by myself. How are you mad because I gave them to their dad?
Why you been a deadbeat mama?
So I'm a deadbeat because they have.
You a deadbeat with a gut, dog.
He didn't talk to them. The whole 7 years of me having them kids, he ain't called them kids. He didn't do nothing for them kids.
Go get your kids.
I'm a deadbeat though.
Let's get your kids.
Nah, I'm a deadbeat.
Yeah, but you're hanging out with her. Dude.
So the argument is she's tired? All parents are tired, ma'am. It comes as part of the package deal. It still gives you no reason to give up on your kids.
Y'all, I can't tell you how many times I was tagged in this video. You're so funny. Thanks. I left the love of my life for a guy who ended up being a addict. And now I get to watch the love of my life raise babies with his beautiful wife on socials while I raise a baby alone.
Man.
Come on. Come on.
If he really was the love of your life and you left him for an addict, it's over. What kind of man can you trust after that?
Okay, listen, a girl's having a baby, right?
Yep.
If she lies about who the baby father is, should she go to jail?
Yes.
No.
Come
Not
on.
at all. Yeah, super up. If that was the case, unfortunately, a lot of people be in jail.
Okay, so what do you think should happen? If like a guy paid like 5 years worth of child support?
I think.
Pay that.
Yeah, No, she needs to pay him back.
You think the girl should have to pay her back?
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
she
she needs to pay him back.
You don't think that that's like scam or fraud?
Yeah, 100%.
You know how many people scam the government, taxes? Like, they don't go to jail.
Yeah, the hell they do.
Not all.
Okay, obviously that's an extreme case. Not everybody goes to jail, but the idea of living your life in the sense of fraud, to be a fraudulent character, is wild.
Oh, no, you're tripping out. No, you're tripping.
And the woman is going to defend the actions, because that's what it is. This situation is that like the woman can say and like all her ideologies, all her behaviors are in some way validated. Like they're allowed to finesse you. They're allowed to lie. They're allowed to talk to you about, oh, the baby is yours when it's really not. As they say, everything a woman does is pure deception. Their whole entire enigma and modus operandi is deception.
She lied. She needs to pay him back.
A girl's having a baby, right?
Uh-huh.
If she lies about who the baby father is, should she go to jail?
Yes. Yeah. Okay, I guess, yeah. I have no kids, so I don't know. Hell! I don't care. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Because her.
It should count as fraud, because that's exactly what it is. These women should have to pay back every penny they received, plus damages.
Oh, kill me.